What's going on, guys? It's Clayton or Magnus, episode 1 of a new series I'm going to be doing, Hard Body or No Body. I'm going to challenge myself to every single week 3D printing a body, painting it, hopefully trying new techniques as time goes on, hopefully seeing my skills progress as well. I'll let you boys be the judge of that. I'm by no means a modeler. A model? Maybe. Modeler? Not so much. Real quick, wanted to say, see this stain right here? You know what's worse than having a stain on your shirt? Being a fat guy with a stain on your shirt. You have a stain on your shirt, people think, oh, ruin the shirt. I have a stain on my shirt. Of course he has a stain on his shirt. Look at him. Anyways, starting out, the theme for this week is an overlanding camper. Let me know what you boys think. Let's go. Alright guys, first things first. Let's go over the two files I chose for the cab. Toyota Land Cruiser J70. The designer on Colts 3D, his name is Vehicle World. I noticed he has over 1,000 124 scale models. We obviously have to adjust them a little bit to get them to fit these SCX24s, but I think it's totally worth it. Looks really good. High quality. My printer can't keep up with the quality, but still high quality. For the camper, it's called the Sun Raider by Millie_RC on Colts 3D. He has some of the coolest things that I've seen for the SCX24s. I noticed he's got like a lot of these like camper shells and roof tents, and he's a really good designer. I really like it. Alright guys, the next thing I want to talk about is how I was able to achieve a more realistic rust and exposed gray primer on my model. I used the hairspray chipping technique. If you don't know what that is, I'll give you a quick rundown. For instance, the cab here, what I wanted to be exposed was obviously the rust. So the first coat that I spray onto the printed body is a brown. I want to let it fully cure. Read the back of your can. Might be 24, 36 hours. Let it fully cure. And then it could even be a week later. Go ahead and spray 2, 3 light coats of some of this hairspray on there. Let that just dry to the touch. And then go ahead and hit it with your top coat. Obviously, the top coat's white in this instance. Let it dry for about 30-45 minutes, basically to where it's completely dry to the touch. And then I'll get a stiff bristled brush, whether that be, you know, a paintbrush that I cut some of the hairs off the top, make it more stiff down low, or a toothbrush. You basically just keep agitating that top coat, and eventually I'll start revealing what's underneath. So obviously for the cab, I did brown spray paint. For the camper, I did like a gray primer. You know, I took some sharper things like my hobby blade and just kind of did some scoring into that top coat. Didn't want to go too much, but into that top coat to where it starts to reveal the gray. I tried putting it in places that looked a little more realistic. Like for instance, I knew that on this setup in real life, if you were to be driving it, going up some crazy terrain, obviously somewhere that would be a good place to rub would be right underneath. See down there the gray scratches? I try to put these things in places, you know, look at your reference photos, put them in places where it's common for it to rust or to have scratches on it. Up next, I wanted to go over these striping. I'm not good enough, not fine enough with a little paintbrush to be able to do these lines. I don't even think I can mask that good to do that. So I utilized the colored printer at work, printed these off. Took a little matte Mod Podge, put it on the rear side of it, stuck it on there. You know, it doesn't dry quick or anything, so you get to place it wherever you want it. Let it dry for a couple minutes, and then at the top of it, took a paintbrush, dipped it in that Mod Podge, went over it, couple coats of that to where, you know, it actually protects it and makes it to where it doesn't want to peel off. I think it looks pretty good. It's a little shiny for being a matte, but I think, you know, after a little bit more weathering, it looks pretty good. For the windows, obviously, super easy to do the straight windows. Windows with this extreme curve I couldn't get the Lexan to work the way I wanted it to. So I took some cardboard, spray painted it black. I mean, obviously it conforms a lot easier than the harder, you know, Lexan plastic stuff. From afar, it looks pretty good. I mean, up close, you can see like the creases and stuff, but I mean, I think it looks pretty good. Obviously, the side windows are super easy. The rear is super easy because it's just a straight little thing. You cut out, glue it on there, you're good to go. You can see some little curtains that I tied off on the inside. I think it looks pretty good. I threw a little ladder rack that I had, or not ladder rack, but a little ladder that I had from the stock GX470. I think it works for the build. The only sticker I have on this, vote for Yep. 24 Yep, he's a cool guy. I'm sure you guys all know 24 Yep if you're into the 1/24 scale things. It's a good motivating factor. Seeing the builds he's done on Instagram and on YouTube and all the rigs that are sent in for the roasting rigs. I think it looks really solid, motivates me to try different techniques, try different styles. I really like it. For the wheels, I just did like those Endura stamped beadlock wheels. I noticed to get the effect where there's more spokes, I don't know if you can see that there, to get more spokes, you can actually, whenever you have them apart, spin it a little bit, you know, kind of make it a little cockeyed, and then put the screws in, and it'll just add more spokes. I think it looks good. Obviously, you know, I painted them brown just to, I don't know, I like brown, I like earthy colors. I think it looks good. If you guys are playing a drinking game for taking a shot every time I said obviously, I think you guys would be walking sideways. I'm sorry for that. Next up, I wanted to go over this little roof rack I got going on. I 3D printed it. I printed it in black. It was a little too shiny. I ended up having to take some gray, watered down acrylic paint, just kind of brush over it. It kind of makes it give, you know, gives it more of like a faded look. Just took some twine to make like a little rope. Did like a little sleeping bag out of some black leather that I got at Hobby Lobby. And then also from that same GX470, I found a little trunk that was on it. Used it in here. I think it looks pretty good. I think I've went over just about everything I needed to. Obviously, I know you guys have noticed this little missing Toyota emblem. My printer, I think I need to dial in my settings more. You know, I oriented it at a 45-degree angle, and at the very top, it was just really struggling to get the extra fine detail of the Toyota logo. I have a 0.4 nozzle. Maybe if I ran a 0.2 nozzle, it'll be able to do these finer details a little better. Other than that, I think it's time. I think it's time we go see what this thing looks like out on the rocks. See if it performs good. See if it even works. I literally, first time ever driving it was in the intro. Just bring it across the screen there. Let's go put it on some rocks, see what it looks like, guys. Real quick, chiming in, guys. Want to get a total weight on this whole rig. Probably be a smart thing to do moving forward. Get a weight on things. See how the weight and how the weight is positioned affects performance. 576 grams. Not too crazy. Let's get the body alone here. 158 grams. It's a pretty heavy body. I feel like a lot of the weight is in the rear and up high. That being said, 159, 157. All right, we'll call it 158. With that being said, though, guys, I think it did pretty well. If you guys have any tips, tricks, advice on how I can improve with my modeling skills, please let me know in the comments. Next week, I'll do another rig. We'll weigh it, see how it does, see how it looks on the rocks. Till then, gentlemen, see ya.